In the heart of a desolate forest miles away from the nearest town stands an abandoned radio station, KXNR 103.3. The locals call it the static station because, for decades, its signal had been nothing but a faint hiss of white noise. The building itself was a crumbling relic from the 1950s, with shattered windows and a rusted broadcast tower leaning precariously toward the sky. No one knew why it had been abandoned. Some claimed the original owner, a man named Gerald Moss, went mad and locked himself inside until he starved. Others whispered about a fire that had gutted the interior, though no official records ever confirmed it. One thing was certain: no one in town dared to go near it. But the strange part? The station had never really gone silent. Every so often, late at night, people reported hearing faint voices mixed in with the static if they tuned in to 103.3. The voices would speak in fragmented sentences like bits of conversations cut out of time. "Where are you? I can't find the light. The door won't open. It's so cold. Tell my mother I love her." Most dismissed it as interference or a prank, but a growing number of locals believed it was something more sinister. It all started when Alex and his friends, a group of amateur paranormal investigators, decided to explore the station for their YouTube channel. They were chasing views, of course, but Alex had a personal reason for the trip. His uncle, Mark, had gone missing 30 years ago, and the last time anyone heard from him, he'd left a voicemail saying he was driving toward the forest where the station sat. The group arrived just as the sun was setting, their flashlights barely cutting through the encroaching darkness. The air smelled of mildew and damp earth. The station's front door hung ajar, creaking in the wind. Inside, the air was heavy with decay. Peeling wallpaper clung to the walls, and old recording equipment lay scattered across the floor like the aftermath of a desperate escape. In the center of the room, however, stood an ancient radio console, its dials still intact. The group exchanged nervous glances before Alex reached out and flipped a switch. The console roared to life with a burst of static, but almost immediately, a voice cut through the noise. "Alex!" Alex froze. The voice was faint but unmistakable. It was his uncle's. The group huddled around the console, their cameras rolling as Alex leaned closer to the speaker. "Uncle Mark," he called out, his voice trembling. "Alex, why are you here? You shouldn't be here." The voice sounded distant, almost warped, like it was struggling to push through a thick fog. "Where are you?" Alex demanded. "Still here. We're all still here. We can't leave." Before Alex could ask more, the static returned, louder this time, punctuated by other voices whispering over each other. The fragments were chilling. "They took us. I hear footsteps. Don't let them see you. The shadows. The shadows." Panic set in as the temperature in the room dropped. One of Alex's friends, Erica, pointed to the corner. "Look." A figure stood just beyond the edge of the flashlight's beam, barely more than a silhouette. It didn't move, but its presence was suffocating. The group bolted for the door, but the moment they stepped outside, the static followed them, bleeding from their walkie-talkies and phones. And then they heard it, Mark's voice again, this time screaming, "Run! They're coming!" Alex and his friends made it back to their car and sped away, leaving their equipment behind. When they reached town, they tried to play the recordings they'd captured, but all they found was silence. The videos they uploaded to YouTube were corrupted, showing nothing but static and flickering shadows. But the most horrifying part came a week later. Late one night, Alex tuned into 103.3 out of morbid curiosity. "Alex!" It was his voice this time, but not him. It sounded distorted, desperate. "Help me. I'm still here." Every night since, the broadcast continues, growing clearer and clearer. And now, Alex isn't sure if it's pulling him back to the station, or if whatever lives there is coming for him instead. The locals say the station is cursed, a place where lost souls are trapped in an endless broadcast, crying out for help that will never come. No one knows how the voices get there, and no one is brave enough to find out.